Gentlemen, today we finally doing part two, bro. Part two of the Frieren crossover. Man, oh man. It's been a while, chat. It's been a while. How's everybody doing though? Unknown, Steven, what's up? Dan, Pokey, Love, how we doing? How we doing? Let everybody in Discord know we live. Bonafide, what's up, man? All right, chat. Time for us to do some grind. But yeah, man. I have not talked to y'all since what? Was it last Tuesday? Whenever we did the live stream? I think it was last Tuesday, whenever we summoned for Fern. And I've been completely off of socials. I've been completely off of YouTube. Pretty much everything until yesterday, which was when I posted, what did I post yesterday? Was it the tier list video? I think it was the tier list video. No, that wasn't yesterday, it was Monday. So yeah, I've been off everything from Wednesday of last week till Monday of yesterday. So, of Monday of this week, let me say. And the reason for that was because your boy was on vacation. I had like a week off from my second job. And I was like, you know what? Every time I take a week off from my other job, I always take a week off from YouTube as well. But I try to schedule stuff out so there's content on here. And yeah, man, it's crazy. It was definitely something wild. Everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. It's just, I was literally on vacation. And I personally, well, me and my girlfriend were talking and she was like, yeah, I don't want you to like work on YouTube or anything like that while we're on this vacation, because it's not really a vacation for you. It's just a vacation for me because she got a week off work as well. So I was like, all right, I'll not do YouTube or anything for this entire week and just enjoy it. It was very, very fun. It was very fun. We did a bunch of stuff and we've been planning this trip for a while. So we had a ton of money put back and we didn't even actually use hardly any of it that we put back. Cause, what is it? We went like, we were doing stuff every day, right? Like we were going out. I don't think we ate at home once during this entire vacation. And what am I going to use? I think I'm going to use J. Or actually, nah, we could use Stark probably. Yeah, we just use Stark. But we didn't eat at home at all during all this. And we were going out to eat every night. And literally, we didn't even spend hardly anything at all. The most money we spent was actually at the end of our vacation because we decided to go ahead and knock out our Christmas shopping for most of our family. And we did that. And now we have pretty much all the Christmas shopping done. So we kind of cooked. I'm not going to lie. We kind of cooked with that. But it was fun though. I definitely enjoyed it. Went to a bunch of different places, touched some grass, you know. Definitely, I don't know, it definitely was weird because usually I'm very work mode when it comes to me, even whenever I'm off or whenever I'm on vacation, you know. I'm always thinking about work or what I could do to when I get back. But this time around, man, I was actually able to completely turn off that part of my brain and was just nonstop. Hey, it's vacation. I'm not worried about work at all. I do not care at all right now, which is great. I hope, hold on, wait, chat. Before we start this lobby, let me make sure my AI set. There you go. All right, we should be good. I'm assuming we fight Fern in this fight, so we're gonna put water on, make this like that, and then let me put the room ID for y'all, man. Managed to get Stark and Frieren from my reroll and have been working on my account from there. I'm wondering if I should do a pull on Yubel and Fern or save for a banner. I would personally try to get Yubel. The next character to come out is going to be Eleanor. And Eleanor, she is cool, but she's not as good as the crossover characters. Yeah, relax and de-stress, yeah. It was cool, man. It was definitely cool, and it's been about a year. Hey, don't forget to drink water. Do I have it on? I do. But yeah, it's been about a year since I took my last vacation, and it's crazy, bro. Every time I plan a vacation, something big is happening in GS. It never ever fails. Last time I planned my vacation, it was like 2 years ago, and you know what came out while I was on vacation? War God Finn. War God Finn news came out, and I was like, oh my god, he's coming out. And I think it lined up perfectly where we got back the day War God Finn came out. But I couldn't make like any information videos or anything like that talking about War God Finn because I was on vacation. And I think it was War God Finn that did that. The second time I went on vacation, I think I have to look back at it. I feel like it was Kill la Kill that came out or something else. And then this time whenever I went on vacation, technically it was part 2 of Frieren that came out. And I was like, wow. Okay. But it all worked out. The only two are Finn and Parla. Yeah, so Eleanor isn't bad. I don't know. I just don't really vibe with her completely. She's really cool, but definitely not. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on her. Because, let me pull up her kit real quick. Also, this is going to be the gooning character that everybody in GS is going to be going crazy about for God knows how long. Because the way how they designed her, I mean, literally, this is just her base outfit here. And the girl is pretty much wearing lingerie. She has a freaking damn near a thong on. But let me tell you something. This character has potential to be pretty solid. And I think it's mainly just because the DR right here. I think the DR is really good. But at this, I just don't really vibe with her completely. And also while I was running late chat, it was because I finished this too. This is a video that I finished today. So that will be ready. Or let me do it like this. That'll be easier to see. But this will be out tomorrow. It was going to come out today. But I'm going to save it for... Well, not tomorrow, my bad. This will be coming out Friday. Because tomorrow is going to be the shitty summon. But... yeah, it's insane because DR equips CT, which is very good, and you get skill CT. The thing is that this equip CT buff doesn't stack with... Actually, wait, I think it does. I don't remember if it does stack or not with other equipment CT buffs. But on Mono Earth right now, she's not terrible to be used because... you look at Mono Earth, Eleanor, Yubel, War God Finn, and then maybe like Valentine's Lisa or someone else like a Veldora, possibly. You want somebody with a defense slot. But that wouldn't be terrible. Or you just run like mono magic if you have it, like Eleanor. I don't think Evil Eye will stack DR with Eleanor, so that's something to take note of. But you could run like Eleanor, Evil Eye, Yubel, and Valentine's Lisa. And probably do pretty well with that. I don't know. I think this character is really cool with her kit and everything. It's just, there's some stuff that I wish was a bit better. Like, she's kind of more of the support unit, and this only buffs up herself, but I would have been completely down if this was for the entire team, like you increase all allies' arts based on the number of Earth allies in your party, I think that would have been sick. Because if you ran like 3 Earth allies, that's 6 to the entire team. Or in this case, if you run all 4, you're getting 8 arts per second to the entire team. I think that would have been so much better than what she got. And everything else is kind of whatever. I feel like you either love her super art mechanic and you're going to try to build around this, or you absolutely hate it and you will never ever touch it, no matter what. Because the rest of this kit is whatever. Magic damage ups. There's tons of magic damage buffing characters, including awoken units like Fubuki. Earth res down. We just had Yubel. She gives like, what, 150% earth res down. Increased zone damage. The skill's like very lackluster. So, yeah, I don't think she's going to be a summon at all. Maybe at most do your Alk summons if you want her. Or if she's like a favorite, then of course use your actual crystals to get her. But it's definitely a safe skip. The banner's not any better, by the way. If I remember correctly, isn't Evil Pola on this banner? She is. Like, hold on, let me pull it up. Now look at this, chat. This banner is definitely not better than... There's no real redeeming factor about this. I mean, I guess if you're missing Evil Pola, this is a chance for you to get her. If you're missing Cosmo, it's not a terrible banner to try to get her on. Joker Celia, but you can also get... I think Cosmo and Joker Celia are both in the Forever Summon, so you could always just get them from that. I know Joker Celia is. I don't know if Cosmo is. What's her name? Isn't her name Elizabeth? Elizabeth is garbage. And... yeah, I mean, Evil Pola is Evil Pola and Eleanor is Eleanor. So... yeah, she's in the Forever Summon. Yeah, that's what I thought. It do be what it is, man. Is there another Forever Summon after this one? I mean, eventually we'll get another one. That's kind of like the whole ordeal, is that we may not have it right now, but we'll be having another Forever Summon very soon. They usually throw these things out like candy. We probably have about, like, what, chat? 4, maybe 5 Forever Summons a year. So. And we're getting closer to Christmas as well. I mean, Christmas is still pretty far off, but, you know, we're going to have Thanksgiving and all the fall holidays and everything. So that stuff will probably give us Forever Summons as well. So. Because there's usually always one for New Year's. There's usually one for like an anniversary. There's usually another one for either Christmas or Thanksgiving. And then usually there's multiple parts to each Forever Summon. So instead of it just being 1, it's technically 2. So there's tons of ways to get these units. That's why I don't think Eleanor's going to be that big of a character to get. Who will be our Xmas unit this year? Dude, I have no clue. Waiting for Juno? Yeah, I forgot who I got last time. I know the biggest one that I've gotten here recently. Oh yeah, I got 12th Generation Mizuki. That was the most recent character I got. But before that, the biggest character that I was able to get was Fire Orville. Fire Orville was very big. I need to try to get Cosmo because I don't have her yet, I don't think. And she is a better paralyzed unit than Norn. Norn's just so old. Back Light Sistina. Yeah, Light Sistina is pretty good too. Even now, she's still very solid. I wonder if this is going to be one of the shorter updates though. Because, like, this isn't really adding much. It's just Grim Stella event. We got the Dream Awakening for Grad. And that's pretty much it, right? Yeah. Login bonuses to celebrate the story continuation. celebrate the story continuation. For Grim Stella? Or for the actual main story? Because the main story is not getting updated. Unless that's a hint that it's coming soon. Because that means, if that's the case, then that means Sor God Luan is the next unit to release. Oh, by the way, chat. By the way, another update. And no Summer Rosetta or Summer Rivi. God, dude. It's insane. We're actually not going to get those characters. Those units are never going to release. I mean, at this point, it's the same thing with Eleanor, man. It sucks because GS is kind of running into a bit of a problem here recently. And I've noticed it with a lot of the newer releases that aren't anniversary characters. Is that if we go to Unreleased here, let me see. A lot of these characters are ridiculously old at this point. I don't know what happened, but it seems like some characters are just getting released so far out of order that we either have better versions of them because of crossovers, or, by the way, the lobby's up, chat, or they just have gotten completely power crept by another unit that's doing even more than they ever did. So it's very weird because Summer Rivi and Summer Rosetta. Summer Rivi, I think, still has a bit of use since she's a defense ignore fire attacker. But yeah, you have Summer Rivi, which is a defense ignore fire attacker, which I don't think we have this at all. Right? She's defense ignore, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? Oh yeah, there it is. Defense ignore. We don't have an ascended defense ignore character, from what I remember. Minas is still really good. She does tons of damage, and she'll be releasing eventually. Like Charlotte, right? I have people asking, "Oh, are you not going to summon for this character?" She's like so good. She's so good. Unless you're like someone that just loves fire units, this character doesn't really do a ton unless you love this right here. This is big. This is huge. 60% additional stats to mono fire. Crazy good. But like, at the same time, here's my ordeal. To me, this character with this passive where she gives everybody like more arc gauge and stuff, if we're just considering mono fire as it is, I don't know why, but whenever I look at Charlotte, I think of, and look, she has the ratio passive, but look how her ratio passive is. It's a very weak version of what we know now. It's only 1%, which is good, but you know, to put it in perspective, Earth Finn just got Dream Awoken in JP chat, and he has this passive, this exact passive. So that puts it into perspective, like how they treat the 1% now. They give it to Awoken units and no longer Ascended characters. But whenever I look at Charlotte, to me, I just think, oh, where's he at? Makoto. Right? Like, sure, I don't get the true art damage buff and everything like that, right? But you know what I do get? 150% damage res down and a 200% damage buff to fire allies plus overtime archgen, and if the boss is able to be burned, I get 30% DR. So I don't too much care for this Charlotte. And then Lark, I think Lark still has a position, like still has a role to play as a fire res character, because technically you'd be like, oh, Shizu is the new character here, but like his is just a very easy to achieve fire res down. Like Shizu has to burn the enemy, and then the enemy has to be burning whenever she uses her super art, if I'm not mistaken. For Lark, he gives you this massive fire res down, and it just is, hey, if you're not afflicted by a status element, you get the 260% fire res down. That's not bad. Not bad at all. And he has a defense slot, so that kind of helps too. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Lobby's back up, chat. But yeah, they gave super crits to Awoken unit as well. They gave it to Rivi, which I kind of like that buff. That was a cool buff they did. But yeah, it's kind of whatever. That Lark's still good, but it's only because this is like such an easy condition to hit. Charlotte, kind of a sleeper unit. I would even argue Summer Rosetta has kind of fallen off a little bit here, chat room. Just a tiny bit, because of Mono Demon is struggling. It is really bad right now. So if we look up just demon units in general, and not just like demon as a whole, but specifically Mono Dark Demon. I know we complained a lot about let's release other characters that aren't just demons, but we also said let's release other characters that aren't just demons or humans, because we were getting nonstop demon and human characters. Well, they for some reason cut off all demon releases. The most recent character we've gotten is Samurai Rimuru. Before that, it was Momon. Are we serious? Or actually, wait, was it Momon? Yeah, it actually was. It was Momon. Before Samurai Rimuru, I think Momon was the most recent release. So, as you see, they're struggling a bit. With her release, this isn't really going to change anything, because if you already have him, you're probably not going to use her, because you're going to be using Samurai Rimuru. You're using double Rimuru in most situations, because these guys are hard carrying Mono Demon right now. So, the demon units are struggling. There's not really a point to get Summer Rosetta if you have Samurai Rimuru. If you don't have Samurai Rimuru, then Summer Rosetta is really good. And if you look here, back at the other unreleased characters, who else do we have that's kind of like a, at this point, be a bit mediocre? Well, I think that kind of catches it up. Natasha may be a little bit of a, oh, why are we getting this character at this point? She's still really good as just a DR character, but if you look at like everything else in the kit, it's like, it is what it is, because she's really just going to be used for DR. You don't need this anymore, the 100% physical res down, because sure, you get like a massive physical res down, but like what she does is being a character that beats out evasion bosses and gives you DR at the same time plus physical res. You technically get a mixture of this with Saito Hajime. Just a tiny bit. You don't get the stacking physical res down, but you do get the DR. And the thing is here is that you're going to want her to just spam the DR anyway instead of the super art. You need this 60% DR. This is insane. So if you can keep that art up and then use the true art when you can, just to, you know, buff up everybody else's damage, true art and art with her is going to be incredible. So she's still okay. But other units, I think Maset fell off, unfortunately. I love Maset because of this whole ship crashing into the earth. But I also feel like that she got power crept by Hiro Saitama, since Hiro Saitama gives a barrier now. And one of the reasons why Maset was so good with Kenshin was because there was no other light character that just gave a barrier. And she gave you a barrier for like the first 100 seconds of a quest. You could still run this team and it would be really good for you. But I do personally think that Hiro Saitama is just a better unit to run in place of Maset. Unless you wanted to run the Mono Light Relics because she has a 5-star heal. So GS is kind of running a bit into not catching up fast enough, because even though we are on this accelerated schedule, and we've been on this accelerated schedule for the last, like, what, chat? 5 years at this point, maybe 6. It's a little like, dang, dude. You know, Summer Mira is still a cool unit, but are you going to summon for Summer Mira? Summer Mira? Summer Mira, and then Summer Cilia is the Mono Dark Healer, so there's that. Is 60% physical res down? It's OP. Yeah, Natasha is OP. It's just the thing is that you have to keep this up. This only lasts for 20 seconds. And if I'm not mistaken, her true weapon only buffs up her art's duration, or is it both? Okay, no, you get an additional 5 seconds with her true art, or not true art, but her true weapon. So this is solid, but this has a risk of falling off compared to this. This probably won't fall off if you time it right, but like there's no way you'll be able to keep this up and this up, because let me see. The way how this works, chat, I don't think this refreshes the duration. This just applies another physical res. I'm pretty sure. Because I doubt it like applies a ramping debuff, because I don't think the game would work like that. Because the way how this could work is that, oh, you have one physical res on the enemy from Natasha, so this next physical res is going to be technically stronger than the last one, but it's not going to be like that, because then it wouldn't make sense, because she would then be able to like apply a lot more physical res down with that logic. So than just the cap of 300%. This is going to fall off. This is not going to be as easily... You're not going to be able to hold this down as easily as some of you guys may think, especially if you're using this. So yeah, it's going to be pretty tough. She does have stuff in the kit though to help her get into that, which is great. And she's on Mono Dark, which isn't terrible. I mean, here's the thing, chat. Mono Dark Demon's kind of struggling, but Mono Dark as a whole, kind of cooking. Because Sor God Luan, I thought this character was kind of garbage, but I see the light now. Sor God Luan gives you this Equip CT buff, which is ridiculous. You get super crit rate for your own self and all allies based on the amount of unique races you have in the party. And you increase Dark Allies' art gauge with the skill, okay? But you can use Sor God Luan. He's a god. You could run Shadow if you have him. Shadow gives you 5 arts per second to the entire team as long as you have Dark Allies. That's 2 races right there. All right, chat? So now with Sor God Luan's super art, you are now at 30 seconds. I would say we probably should aim for 1 more unique race. So we could run like, let's say for an example, who do I want? There's a lot of good options. A lot of great options here. But I'm kind of leaning towards either Demon Lord Rimuru for another race, or Ainz wouldn't be terrible because of Archgen plus crit damage buff as well. But I think we're going to do Demon Lord Rimuru, because Demon Lord Rimuru is going to be able to give us a heal with his art. So that's going to be very good. And even art gauge. So with these 3 characters, you now have a 45-second super crit, or 45-second super crit, and 100% crit rate, almost a minute long. Oh wait, never mind. Freaking Sor God Luan increases all stats, but technically this is good because he buffs up max HP and he buffs up all stats, so they actually go together. Malcolm, thanks so much for the $2 dono. How many giant units are on GS Global? I have no clue. Probably like, what? I don't even know. 7? But let me skip through this real quick, chat. The lobby's back up in right now. Yep, lobby's back up. So thanks for the $2 dono, by the way. Huge shout out to you. You have the 30% stats here. You have the 30% stats here. These stack with each other because this is all stats and this is just specifically max HP. So it's going to be huge for this team. With those 3 characters, you now can run any other Dark Ally that you want. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be anybody. So Heart the Fabricator could be here. You could run, who else? Heart the Fabricator, Momon, be a great one. Summer Sakura for some Dark Res down. Yuzu. Well, actually, we already have a Type F Archgener, so never mind. Accelerator. Wait, is Accelerator Type F? I think he is, isn't he? Yeah, he is. Saito Hajime would probably be my pick, though. Because he gives stats to himself, which is going to be great. But you get the 30 burst arc gauge to everyone on top of the arc gauge from Shadow. And you're going to have the 150% damage res down. So, like, that's pretty dumb, chat. That is a very, very strong team that you can run with these 3 characters here. Or 4 characters, let me say. And I think this is going to be incredible. The amount of, like, DPS, art gauge, all that type of stuff. Because their slots aren't terrible. You're going to be having a lot of physical. But, like, you have the support slot here and you have a support slot here. The only thing that may be a struggle is DR whenever you need it. But then that's whenever you throw on Natasha, right? You throw on Natasha instead of Saito Hajime whenever you need that DR. And now you just spam your art with Natasha and you use the defense slot and you probably will tank most of the stuff that you need to. And if you make, who is it? Wait, does Luan need to be leader? Oh, he needs to be leader for this. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, if Luan didn't need to be leader, you could set to where Rimuru is leader and he's going to give you DR for 70 seconds of the quest. But Luan needs to be the leader. Because I don't think Shadow doesn't need to be leader, right? Yeah, he doesn't need to be leader. He just gives everybody 5 arts per second. But that's a very good team that you can run. And that literally gets enabled because this guy gets released. You can kind of run something similar to that right now, but definitely that gets a lot better. Or what you can do too is that just run someone else that can benefit the team. Like for an example, once you have all those dark units, if you didn't want to run another dark character, you have the entire ascended or whatever your box can handle, right? So like if you want to, in that last slot, just run like Shiro or Beta or and technically Beta would buff up Luan because it's a unique race. Either way, something like that would be great too if you don't go for Natasha and you don't have to restrict yourself to mono dark. I think if you do kind of build around a little bit of the restrictions, or not even just like the restrictions, but you do kind of go with more theme or thematic teams where you're running like all dark units, all demon characters, all giants or whatever. I think you can have a lot of fun like that. But of course, you don't have to just run only mono characters. It's definitely a game where you can mix and match a ton of different units. So, but apart from him, man, we pretty much have to wait for the next big release would be Sanctus Platina and Orville. And I think Orville comes after Platina. And then you have everyone. This Rosetta is really good too. Young Imp is of course one that a lot of people are going to be going for. But yeah, it's unfortunately that a thing that I talked about at the beginning of this year in my video talking about like, what is it, like GS 2025 GS doesn't look that good. And it's mainly due to the fact that the releases are just god awful, man. Unless we're talking specifically about unique crossovers like Frieren, for an example, Magical Index and stuff like that. The 2025 unit lineup is horrendous because there's so many units that are just like, they're good, but it's either they're so niche to the point to where it's like, do I really want to use it? Or you probably already have someone that's immensely better. And if we're playing like super optimal, you are probably going to be someone that wants to use like, what is it, like only summon on very, very specific banners, you know? And only summon for characters that are going to be actually helping your account or breaking the meta. Of course, I think it's fun to summon for characters that you just find are cool. And especially if you're not breaking the bank for them, or you just get lucky and, you know, you threw a multi at it and you get it. But yeah, I'm looking at it right now and It was a yikers, man. It truly was a yikers when it came to 2025 GS. It still kind of is, just a little bit. I think definitely a lot of the crossover releases and stuff like that have made it a lot better, but still it's kind of oof. Playing this game since high school and was watching you as well during that time. Now I'm a dad. Dang, dude, that's crazy. That's wild. That is actually insane. Facilities with dual Herrick, Sly, and Olgeth, yeah. But I don't know, chat. I don't know. Maybe GS Global would prove us wrong here. Or just GS in general. And the next, like, 4 to 5 unit releases are going to be absolute bangers. Because even the new saga, Minosaur's High, is not a saga that is invoking, like, a lot of urgency. Like, for an example, whenever you had Phantom Snipers, or you had Cross the Blaze, or KOB, there were a few characters in those sagas that were just insane. KOB, you had Berwick, you had Vox, you had Juno. These guys were ridiculous. Also, you had Thetis. And then KOB, or not KOB, Cross the Blaze comes out. You have Sistina. You have Volti. No, wait, Volti is just Phantom Sniper, what I'm talking about. You have Sistina. You had the original Lisa. You had Orville was pretty solid, but he was kind of whatever too. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. Who was the other character? Luan? Luan was pretty hype, but he was whatever. The main two were Lisa and Sistina. And then here comes Phantom Snipers. You release Haruto, one of the most meta-breaking characters ever. You have Voltia LR, which is an insanely good tank character. Baku. That's a crazy one. Dude, Baku actually had some strats back in the day, man. There were some strats that you could do with Baku at times. But, who else did you have in the Phantom Snipers that were really good? Miranda. Miranda was another one that was very, very solid. And still is very good. Miranda, Volti LR, Haruto, Simon. Simon broke the game for the amount of damage and stuff he was doing, especially in the nuking department. Fire Priscilla was incredible. It was kind of wild because everybody from Phantom Snipers was almost a hit. Was there a single bad Phantom Sniper? I guess like the worst one was maybe Dark Haruto? Maybe? Sam was the original meta nuker, where he was the one that kind of really pushed a lot of people to be nukers in the meta, because before that, it was kind of hard to be someone that nuked. It was very, very much under lock and key. Oh yeah, the servants too. I completely forgot about the servants. Yeah, the servants were good. Like Radak wasn't bad. Chloe was massive, right? She was a free-to-play character and literally insane. You had so many good characters, man. So many good units. And I don't know, Minosaur's High just doesn't seem that good right now. And especially too, the quality of the saga has kind of gone down because, well, it didn't happen with Phantom Snipers, but like I feel like it'd be kind of cool if they brought back the whole free-to-play aspect too, where you would release a banner unit, you know, like from Phantom Snipers, not Phantom Snipers, my bad, from Cross the Blaze, like Sistina, and then you would make the free-to-play character Radak. And I know that was for the cross arts and everything, which was a cool mechanic they didn't really capitalize on too well. Apart from like Luan. Luan had like a very good cross art. But it was like, man, dude, come on now. Why not have like, you know, more of that when it comes to the newer sagas? Because Minna is cool. She does tons of deeps. Huma, I think is the other character's name. He's absolute dog water. Everything I saw about him, I was just like, I don't know what they were planning on with this character, but this is not a release that I'm extremely happy about. Let me think though. The other sagas definitely did it a bit better. Just a little bit. Super cross arts. I think super cross arts would be cool. The thing is though, chat, is that you have to keep in mind they can't release 2 gacha units with the super cross art mechanic or the cross art mechanic in general. So like for an example, you would maybe think like Frieren and Fern would have a cross art, right? But in reality, they can't do that because one of them would have to be free. So either Frieren would have to be free or Fern would have to be free. Because in Japan, it's a law. I don't remember what the exact law is called or what it exactly states, but it's something along these lines. It's like you can't have a unit in a gacha game that has a mechanic like cross arts or whatever, and both of them be locked behind the gacha mechanic. One of them has to be made free, so it's actually accessible to you once you obtain the character. The Ninja Saga? Dude, Ninja was whack. Man, come on now. If we don't talk about like the second part with 12th generation Mizuki and Senki and all that type of stuff, the first part of the ninjas was terrible. It was very, very negatively reviewed. A lot of people hated it. They despised it even because it didn't really like do much for people, man. Like a lot of the ninjas were so niche that they were good for in-game players. Let me say that. For people that actually did DOT and all that type of stuff, it was dope. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all, back then I thought that shit was the most boring thing possible. And I still kind of do think DOT is very, very boring because it's just not that engaging. The later stages are very fun. I will say that. I love like the Mars X fight and what is it, the Og fight? Those are really cool. But like the earlier stages where you have to have Hellfire and all this, I just think it's whatever. Yeah, it's not that cool to me. But to that same extent, the people who did find it very fun loved the ninjas because Mizuki was one of the best characters for that. Then you had like Shuri, and Shuri was very good against stages with Hellfire because she could run Exceed Zex, and then you could get her low and she would punch and she would heal all the way back up and she could technically counter Hellfire stages. And not to mention, she just dealt tons of damage with her huge punch. It was very, very cool and it was very dope. Apart from those two though, in the original saga, I mean, you had Shiki. That should tell you the quality of that saga was. Not saying the story or anything was bad, just the units, right? The story was pretty cool from what I remember. But units specifically, we had Shiki as one of the units, chat. Shiki's god awful. God, that unit's terrible. You did have Ginszo, which Ginszo was a free unit. No, Ginszo was not free. I'm thinking of the part 2, which is the Ultra Trial Ginszo. But you had Ginszo, which he was an okay character. He was like the light killer. Yeah, because he was a dark unit. He was all right. You had Kisaragi, which was cool. What's the one character that was actually really good? Amine? Is that her name? The light unit? She was pretty insane. I didn't see too many people use her though, but she had the potential to do crazy deeps. Yeah, the new Ninja Saga was very solid. You had the biggest releases, of course, from that were Senki and 12th generation Mizuki. Some people may say Kukuri as well. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If y'all are still telling me Kukuri's a good unit, I swear y'all need to go to a mental asylum and get some help. I'm not saying this because I want you to. I'm saying this for your family. They want you to go. You need help, okay? you need to stop being this Kukuri this Kukuri stan. You forgot the lore, not gonna lie. Hey man, me too. The only lore for some reason that I remember really well is Sakura Miku's. Not Sakura Miku's, Sakura Mira. And I think it was mainly just because I found it very interesting. Yeah, Shiki was the only support unit of the saga, which was also like, what? I mean, not every. Wait, has every saga technically had a support unit? KOB had Rosetta and Juno. Cross the Blaze had Lisa technically. Lisa and I guess you would say even Sistina. Phantom Snipers had Haruto. Yeah, I guess every saga has had a support unit, huh? At least the newer ones. That's crazy. Do you still fuck with Stevie Snake? Yeah, we're best friends. I talk to him all the time. He's like my IRL friend. We've grown up with each other. He lives like right down the street from me. Is it Luxu? I said Luxu. Is it Kakuri fan? Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If you guys are in my Discord, there was a while there where I was gonna really enforce a rule because I just find it absolutely disgusting. But I was gonna like very much enforce it to the point to where it was gonna be extremely strict. Where I wasn't gonna have like anyone in there like talk about any characters that just look relatively young, like the lollies and all that. Even if it's like, oh, I'm like freaking Malim and I'm 3,000 years old. It's just disgusting, bro. They look like an actual child. Like, there's like a few people that I've seen. I'm not going to name names here, but hold on, I got to sneeze again. Thank you. But this right here, man, I've seen a few people in the community that just love these. It's okay to be a fan of something, but like they just love the lolly characters. And I think it's kind of weird, not gonna lie. I'm not even saying this to be offensive. I'm just saying what I think. I think it's fucking disgusting. I think it's weird. I think you guys have just a tiny, just little something's wrong with you. A little bit, maybe, but. Oh, the 5 freedom fighters. Yeah. Oh, dude, those guys have freed and all of them. Do I remember them all? Roll, Freed. Levette, Sunny. Who else? Roll, Freed, Levette, Sunny. Who was the other one? Was it Anfon or whatever his name is? I don't know why I want to say he was one of the freedom fighter characters. I don't remember. But like, you know, not like knocking what, or not like knocking anybody or like saying that I just don't like you as a person. If you're into that stuff or into like lollies and stuff like that, it's just, I think you're a little weird. Just a little bit. Like some people, I know like there was somebody that I saw, I think it was on Twitter or something, whenever like Miyu came out or something, they were like talking about it and I was like, yeah, I unfollowed the person immediately. I was like, that's just disgusting, dude. Doge, I'm sorry, my brother, but I'm gonna have to kick you from this. Grow. Oh, Rishley was the other one. That's right. Rishley was the other one. So it was Grawl, Rishley, Levette, Sunny, Reed. BZ, I'm gonna be honest with you, my brother. I have not touched Les Claudia in a long time, and I will say, I have just accepted the fact that I am a Les Claudia hater. I do not like that game at all. I think that game is terrible, and I'm surprised that it is still alive without having some of the quality of life features that I thought they would already have added. If they had these quality of life features, I don't think I would be that much of a hater. But the fact they don't, it pisses me off, man. And the only thing I ask is just let me search my skill on my arc. If I'm in my arc inventory, let me pull up a skill filter, a skill search, a bar, something like how it is on GS with the equip searches and stuff. Just let me pull up that and just type in attack up. And then it shows me all the attack up arcs. And just leave it at that, dude. Holy fuck. That game is looking at menus more than actually playing the game. Wasn't that the game which started the sorry ads? No, I don't think that was it. I've never seen an ad for LC that did that. I know the one you're talking about though. That was oh dude, I forgot the name of it. But it was terrible. I hated those ads. Oh my god. Oh, BBS. Yeah, BBS had the 10th anniversary. I haven't played BBS in forever. I do still really like BBS. It's just, man, dude, it's hard to keep up with all these games. It truly is. I'm already playing this game. I've been playing Uma Musume as well, and that's been a lot of fun. And that's like something that I do in my free time. Whenever I have like just some downtime, I'll play Uma Musume. But literally, like, it gets hard because it's like, well, if I'm presented with a bunch of options, right, chat, where it's like, oh, do I want to, like, I have some free time, what do I want to do? Do I want to play a gacha game? Do I want to play an actual game? Do I want to read like one of my mangas or comics or one of my other books that I have? Do I want to watch like a new series that I've really been interested in? You know, because your boy works nonstop. I truly do. Like, literally, chat, right now, just to put it in perspective, right after I finish the stream, I'm about to go clock in for 9 hours. So, yeah, like, I work all the time. I've been working since this morning. I woke up, edited a video, recorded, all that type of stuff. Already have that video done, and that's going to be for Friday. Oh, crap, I didn't mean to start that. Whoops. I'm clocking into a 9-hour shift in, like, an hour. And tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be working in the morning, posting a video, which is going to be Should You Summon, and then I'm going to go clock in for, I think, 6 hours tomorrow. And I do that pretty much, I would say, 4 to 5 days a week is my schedule. And then the other, like, 2, I only have 1 day off from YouTube, which is usually Sunday. That's why I'm not doing anything for YouTube. No, like, pre-recording, no pre-editing, none of that type of stuff. I don't do anything for YouTube that day. And then Monday, which is like the day where I just work on YouTube. Yeah, Giants have been forgotten, man. So whenever I finally do have some downtime and some me time, I try to make the most of it, you know. And then of course, you know, I have a girlfriend, so I want to do stuff with her and hang out with her and spend time, make memories, all that type of stuff. So I definitely have to think of it in that way too, and make sure that I keep like all of my relationships that I have in my life alive, like with my friends and with my girlfriend and, you know, all that type of stuff. There truly isn't enough time in the day, chat room. There truly isn't. When you're stressed, you play even more games, or you play Mobile Legends to get even more stressed. I don't know what's wrong with me. Dude, that was me, bro. I used to play Pokemon Unite and freaking Predecessor and Smite and all that. Like, I was a heavy competitive gamer. I still am. It's just I gotta have the right game. It has to be a certain game that like grabs me. Usually it's fighting games now, like Street Fighter and stuff like that. I love me some Street Fighter. But I can't wait for the new, like, what is it? Marvel Token Battle Spirit, or I forgot what the actual name is. It's a stupid name, but you know, the new Marvel game, the 4v4 game. I can't wait for that shit. The Invincible game looks great. I'm so excited for some of these new fighting games. But I love those types of games. Those are what I like now more so than just like shooters or MOBAs. Oh my lord, this guy's over here speeding down the road beside me. But when it comes to like MOBAs or shooters and stuff, I don't know. I don't really have like that kind of stick anymore. Because I truly realized the more, I think this is like a very big mature point for a lot of gamers. You can always just focus on yourself and make yourself the best player possible, you know? Like if you play Marvel Rivals or whatever, just focus on yourself and just play yourself. But man, dude, your teammates ruin it for you sometimes. And when your teammates ruin it for you, it makes it to where the game's just a lot less fun. So like, why not just remove them out of the equation and just go play a fighting game or something else? You still get that competitive itch. You still see the improvement. You have fun. And you get to learn a bit more. And I think like the people that you meet in a fighting game community are just some of the dopest people you ever talk to. So I think that is like a very big thing. Marvel Token, that's what it is, yeah. So I don't have I don't have an arcade stick, but I do have a fight pad. That's what it's called. Which a fight pad is pretty much a controller that just doesn't have analog sticks. Something like, let me see if I can find the one I have. It's a Hori fight pad. Hori fight pad. Yeah, this is it right here. This is what I have. This one right here. The Fighting Commander. I like that because it's like all my face buttons are right there. And it's not as expensive as an arcade stick. Because I've never played in the arcade, chat. I never ever... Because I didn't have an arcade around here. So I didn't get to go to the arcade and play like Street Fighter or like, you know, Tekken or anything like that. So I've always played fighting games just with a controller. But I wanted something that was a bit better. And I've been using the Fighting Commander for like years at this point. And it's really good. I like it. It takes a little bit to get used to if you're used to like using a different kind of controller. But I think it's like a perfect middle ground between the two. Where it's not completely an arcade stick. And it's not completely just a regular controller. It's like a good little medium. Yeah, Sega Saturn controller, yeah. Yeah, Tierney, I saw that. That's one of the things why I didn't want to get the art book, because I was thinking about getting it and do like a whole video on it, especially because you get like the War God Finn special art and all that in the game. But I saw that and I was just like, dude, this looks whack. I was like, it's just the regular Ascended arts in the game. Like, I think one thing that would have been really cool was maybe show like step by step how they drew some of the art, or like how the art came to be. Or another thing would have been dope would be to include like the login, or like the main menu login type of screens that we get sometimes for like popularity contests and everything. That would have been sick, but they didn't do that. And I hate that, man. It absolutely sucks. Oh, the main menus are in the book? Okay. Okay, good. I was about to say, if those weren't in the book, that would suck. But yeah, I think like having concept art or never before seen art that they just had and they didn't release it for whatever reason would have been so cool. Like if GS ever releases a manga or like a light novel or some type of like book like that, I probably will get it and I'll read it and I'll make a summary of it. I'm gonna say it right now. I'll read it and I'll make a whole little summary, kind of do my best to retell the story and put it on YouTube. But I doubt GS will ever do something like that. And I hope they don't, because now since I said it, I gotta do it. Oh man, dude. Yeah, GS manga would be pretty cool until they, you know, absolutely get me on my channel for posting different artworks of the manga or whatever, different panels and stuff. I thought there was a comic or something like that. There's a pop-up sometimes after return to the menu with one panel. Yeah, that's just like the GS theater thing. I forgot the exact name of it. Here, I'll show you in just a second, because that's going to be the last run, by the way, too, chat. I got to go ahead and start getting ready to go clock into my 9 hours, man. But let me see here. Saitama with the deeps. We love Sai. Let me show you real quick. Let me buy all this stuff, because I think it's in the game. I know it's in JP, but I don't know if it's in global. Defense, heal, and then last but not least, supports. I don't think I need anything else. I think I'm good. Is it in the town? And then shrine? History? No, this isn't it. GS Theater, there it is. So like, well, it's loading. Oh my lord. There we go. Yeah, if you're talking about like these things right here, this is just like random pieces of art that they do sometimes, and it's just like more so skits, just like funny moments or whatever they come up with. Yeah, as you see, like it's just like random funny moments or something like that. It's not like an actual story. I mean, eventually they could probably put these all together and, you know, try to do something, but oh man, is this done? I got a Beacon Stone from that earlier chat, and I was actually taken aback. I was like, holy, that was some crazy luck. But that's gonna be it for this one, man. Oh my goodness. Your boy's gonna try to rest up a little bit before I gotta dip and everything. Thank you guys for chatting it up, liking the stream. I think we got a few donos in there. Thank you for all the guys that did that. Love y'all. Tomorrow we're gonna be having the shitty summon for Eleanor. That'll be coming out probably a little bit early in the morning, maybe around like, well, actually no, because I'm gonna be gone and working tonight till about, yeah, I'm working the night shift tonight, so it's gonna be a bit. Yeah, that'll be out around like maybe like 12 to 2 o'clock CST. So once that's out, That'll be great. And then Friday, we're going to be having a new player mistake video that I have been working on, and I think it's a great video. Really love the editing and stuff in it. And then Saturday, we probably will be doing a showcase of some kind, more than likely doing an Eleanor showcase, but I think it's going to be a bit different than what I usually do. I'm going to try like switch it up a bit and see if I can add a bit more to it. But either way, that's going to be it for this one though, chat. Thank you all again for hanging out. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.